Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins History, a brand new adventure where the secrets hiding in your everyday change could unlock life-changing surprises right before your eyes. As today we dive deep into one of the most talked about modern pennies in American numismatics, the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from 2009 bearing the Denver Mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like just another small copper-coated coin that passes unnoticed from hand to hand in stores, vending machines, and piggy banks, but what if I told you that some versions of this simple coin are now being hunted by collectors and coin investors with incredible determination, selling for unbelievable amounts at auctions because of their unique background and exciting design variations? The year 2009 was exceptionally important in the history of the Lincoln cent because it marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and also celebrated the 100th anniversary of the very first Lincoln penny, originally released back in 1909. To honor this remarkable double milestone, the United States Mint launched 4 special reverse designs throughout 2009, each representing a different chapter in the life of Abraham Lincoln, from his humble log cabin childhood in Kentucky to his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally his historic presidency in Washington, D.C. These circulating commemorative coins were issued alongside the typical obverse portrait created by Victor David Brenner, and while they entered circulation in large numbers, not all of them were created equal. The ones stamped with the D Mint mark in Denver are especially interesting to collectors, particularly when you find pristine examples with sharp striking, original luster, and no marks of handling. The appeal is even greater if your 2009 D Lincoln penny happens to be from the early batches before dies began to show wear, meaning the details, like Lincoln's hair, the tiny features of the log cabin, the intricate architecture on the Illinois design, or the fine bricks of the presidency design, are beautifully crisp and dramatic under magnification. What makes this story even more fascinating is that many pennies from everyday pockets have already been pulled from circulation and spent years sitting forgotten in jars or drawers, so the ones that remain untouched and gleaming stand out and bring fierce bidding battles from enthusiasts who want to complete their perfect sets. There's a thrilling twist too: error versions and rare varieties. Certain 2009 D Lincoln pennies suffer from double die errors, off-center strikes, die cracks across Lincoln's bust, or other unusual flaws made during the minting process. These imperfections are unintentional, making each one a unique piece of minting history. Instead of lowering the value, these mistakes actually increase demand because collectors love coins that show something unexpected and rare. A double ear variety where Lincoln appears to have a shadowed or doubled ear is one of the most sought-after examples and has caused some prices to skyrocket. Some have strong doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty or I in God We Trust, others show extra thickness around the date or around architectural details on the Illinois and presidency designs. Finding these coins with a perfect bright red color, indicating no toning or oxidation, dramatically increases the value too, especially in uncirculated grades of MS 65, MS 66, or better according to professional grading services, often dismissed as modern and too common to be worth much. The truth is that collectors have been steadily turning their eyes toward 2009 commemorative Lincoln cents over the last decade as they begin to appreciate their historical importance and surprisingly low survival rate in near-mint state. Many people spent them without thinking twice, which is why mint-fresh examples from Denver are now so prized. If you happen upon rolls of uncirculated 2009 D Lincoln pennies sealed since the time of issue, don't rush to spend them. Those untouched rolls could be a virtual treasure chest. Even a single coin with a beautiful blazing red finish, no scratches, no contact marks, and strong strike can be shocking in its auction performance. Some collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure elite-grade examples to complete their commemorative sets, and prices can escalate further if your coin has a rarity factor like a double die or unusual minting error. Always check under magnification, examine every detail from the rim to the center, make sure to look closely at Lincoln's profile, the lettering, the digits and the date, and explore the reverse scenes, including the impressive depiction of the U.S. Capitol dome in the presidency reverse. Those extremely fine characteristics can be the key that turns an ordinary penny into the most valuable object in your coin collection. It's a breathtaking moment when you realize a coin you once thought was worth only a cent could instead light up the eyes of seasoned collectors. So, before you pour out that change jar or surrender that small copper coin, take a moment to inspect, because the 2009 D Lincoln penny has become legendary for surprising people with unexpected riches. And now for the moment every eager viewer has been waiting so patiently to hear as I reveal the astounding value that this unassuming 1-cent coin could actually achieve in the top tier of the collector world. Today we are diving into a modern United States coin that many people still overlook in their everyday pocket change even though it has already gained a powerful reputation in the world of collecting. We're talking about the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 2009, a coin that might seem completely ordinary at first glance, yet carries with it a story of history, celebration, and potential hidden fortune that could blow your mind. As you sift through loose change at the bottom of drawers, jars in the kitchen, or even the handful of coins you get after buying basics at the store, this bright little copper-colored penny could be hiding among them, quietly waiting for someone like you to notice its worth. Now before you go rushing to spend any 2009 Lincoln penny you own, let's unravel everything that makes this coin so special, particularly when it comes to its mint mark, appearance, condition, and the mystery of how a humble 1-cent piece could transform into a highly valued numismatic treasure. The year 2009 holds enormous significance for Lincoln cents because it marked two historic anniversaries: the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln himself and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln wheat cent, originally introduced in 1909. To commemorate these milestones, the United States Mint released 4 unique reverse designs through the course of 2009, each one celebrating a different stage of Lincoln's life, from his log cabin upbringing in Kentucky to his journey of growth and knowledge in Indiana, his self-made professional life in Illinois, and ultimately his presidency in Washington, D.C. The result was a remarkable departure from the long-standing design of the log cabin on the 1-cent coin, meaning collectors instantly took notice and began saving these pennies from circulation. Still, millions were minted and tossed into circulation at face value. That is exactly where your opportunity lies, because even though so many were produced, very few people thought to preserve pristine examples. The ones that survive now in gleaming mint state condition are the coins collectors are fighting over. Every 2009 penny you pick up should be closely examined for its mint mark just below the year on the obverse. Whether it is AP for Philadelphia, AD for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, that tiny mark plays a huge role in determining the potential value of the coin. Some collectors have noticed that coins struck in Denver, or Philadelphia, occasionally show subtle differences due to die wear or die errors. Within this category are coins that may look completely typical at a glance, yet under magnification reveal doubled lettering in words like Liberty or In God We Trust, extra thickness in the date numerals, or slight shifts in the reverse scenes that should be perfectly centered. These varieties occurred in the minting process when a die slightly shifted or was overused, causing unusual impressions on the copper coating. While these were never intended by the mint, collectors chase them with wild enthusiasm because they're unlisted treasures hiding in plain sight. Even more astonishing are the 2009 Lincoln cents with strikingly bold double die errors on the reverse, visible in the intricate details of the buildings, logs, bricks, staircases, or inscriptions, particularly those showing Lincoln's professional life in Illinois or the beautifully detailed dome of the U.S. Capitol in the presidency reverse. If you are fortunate enough to spot one of these with sharp, glowing red surfaces, untouched by circulation, you may be holding far more than just a 1-cent piece. It is also worth paying attention to the color classification when you evaluate value. Collectors use terms like brown, and red when describing Lincoln cents. A brown coin has darkened from years of exposure while a red-brown shows some trace of its original mint shine. The most valuable by far are those labeled fully red because it means the coin retains its dazzling original mint luster, the kind that has barely, if ever, been touched by human fingers or passed from person to person. When a 2009 Lincoln cent with a red designation, flawless surfaces, razor-sharp details, a strong strike, and a rare variety bursts onto the marketplace, the sparks begin to fly among serious collectors. They often send these coins to professional third-party grading companies like PCGS or NGC to certify authenticity, grade, and classification, which then adds an official seal of approval that drives up value even more. Imagine discovering such a coin in your possession, tucked away for years without realizing it, now potentially capable of attracting bidders from around the world. It's amazing how many people throw these pennies into tip jars, couch cushions, or piggy banks without realizing they could hold a powerful story from America's past and a doorway into the exciting future of your collecting journey. Keeping a close eye on minute details, like doubling on the obverse, unusual die cracks along Lincoln's shoulder, off-center strikes, or misaligned reading, turns ordinary pocket change hunting into a thrilling treasure hunt. Some rare examples, especially those found in blazing red mint state condition, have crossed the auction block for eye-opening sums, largely because high-quality specimens are surprisingly scarce. Patience, attention to detail, and curiosity are your most important tools. So pull out that magnifying glass, line up your coins under a bright light, study each digit, every letter, and do not overlook any 2009 Lincoln cent you come across. Today we're turning back the clock to explore a vintage gemstone of American numismatics, the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1973. This is one of those coins that countless people have handled without a second thought while buying groceries, paying for gas, or dropping coins into a jar, yet hidden among these little copper pieces could be a very specific 1973 Lincoln cent that makes collectors' hearts race. What makes this year so special, and why are some examples being hunted with such passion decades later? The answers are tied up in the history of the coin's design, the condition of surviving pieces, and the mysterious varieties that slipped into circulation, all waiting for a sharp eye like yours to spot them before they disappear forever into private collections. The Lincoln cent issued in 1973 might look familiar at first glance, proudly featuring the timeless profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner, with the bold word liberty stretching across his left side and the legendary motto "In God We Trust" curving above his head. But don't let its commonplace design fool you, because this seemingly ordinary coin has become a magnet for premium prices. Flip it over and you'll find the elegant Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, created by Frank Gasparo, showing every column, stair, and piece of architecture that celebrates Lincoln's legacy in a quiet but deeply iconic way. Now look closely at the date, 1973. Just below the date is the mint mark, which tells you where the coin was struck, a small D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or a coin with no mint mark that comes from Philadelphia. This tiny letter or its absence controls a massive part of the potential value. Collectors have spent years studying every known variety from 1973 because this was a pivotal time when minting technology was changing, dies were overworked in large production runs, and strange errors began appearing on small batches. One of the most exciting features collectors chase from the 1973 Lincoln cent series are dramatic double die errors caused when the coin dies impress their designs twice in slightly different positions. These double dies can be found on either the obverse or reverse and often reveal themselves in thickened or doubled lettering, such as in the word liberty or on the date itself. Sometimes the inscription FG, the designer initials of Frank Gasparo found near the base of the Lincoln Memorial, appear doubled or shadowed. These irregularities are not damage but minting mistakes, and they behave like hidden treasure maps guiding you to coins worth far more than face value. Another variety that excites collectors is the 1973 cent with a floating roof, where the roof of the memorial appears separated from its supporting pillars because of die wear. There are even versions where Lincoln's bust shows visible die cracks that snake like lightning bolts across his suit, clues that indicate a filled die or late-stage production error. Each variation, no matter how subtle, makes one coin different from millions of others, and this uniqueness alone can launch its price into the stratosphere when found in pristine condition. Condition is everything with vintage pennies, especially those from the early 1970s. Most 1973 Lincoln cents were thrown into circulation immediately and suffered decades of wear, scratches, discoloration, and loss of detail. Finding one in uncirculated condition, known to collectors as mint state, with its original bright red copper glow, is like spotting a shining penny star among a sea of dull brown coins. These mint state coins are graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC on a numerical scale, with MS 65 and higher considered elite. The higher the grade, the more breathtaking the value becomes, especially when combined with a rare error variety. Even more astonishing are the coins graded MS 67 or MS 68, which are almost flawless under magnification. Because so few of these survive today, collectors are more than willing to shell out top dollar just to add one to their rare Lincoln cent lineup. Many people do not realize that such coins could be sitting unprotected in rolls, old candy tins, or forgotten bank bags in attic storage. If you are lucky enough to own loose pennies from the early 70s, now is the time to carefully inspect every single one with bright lighting and a magnifying lens. Don't overlook the tiny details, because it could mean the difference between having a common coin and discovering life-changing value. Imagine the journey of a coin struck 50 years ago, passed from hand to hand, traveling across towns, states, and decades, only to end up waiting silently among scattered change until someone knowledgeable enough begins looking for small imperfections that signal big rewards. There are stories of coin hunters who have turned dusty jars into treasure chests and estate sales into auctions of fortune simply because they spotted what everyone else missed. That is why understanding the remarkable mythology surrounding the 1973 Lincoln penny is so powerful. It transforms you from a casual holder of coins into an explorer uncovering hidden value beneath the everyday surface. So whether your 1973 penny carries the D of Denver, the S of San Francisco, or no mint mark from Philadelphia, take your time with each one. Look for doubling, examine the brightness of the copper, explore the sharpness of letters, and check for strong clean edges. If your coin has maintained its original fire-red luster and sharp strike, you might just possess a silent rarity. Today we are diving into the mysterious world of a coin that many people might dismiss as just another copper penny rolling around at the bottom of purses, piggy banks, glove compartments, and forgotten change jars. But what if that very coin could be worth a small fortune if it checks just the right boxes? We're talking about the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1978, a coin that has been hiding in plain sight for over 4 decades. While millions of people have spent, saved, and ignored this penny since the late 1970s, seasoned collectors know that certain 1978 Lincoln cents can be worth dramatically more than face value depending on their mint mark, condition, and the presence of rare minting errors. So before you dismiss that plain-looking penny, you might want to learn how this simple piece of copper could launch an unforgettable numismatic discovery. The Lincoln penny was already a household icon by 1978, with the obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner anchoring American coinage since 1909. The reverse design still featured the solemn grandeur of the Lincoln Memorial, detailed by Frank Gasparo, each column and stair carved into the coin with fine artistic precision. Look just below the year 1978 and you'll spot the mint mark, a tiny letter that might seem insignificant, yet it holds the key to telling you where that coin began its life: a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or the absence of any mint mark signifying it came from Philadelphia. Every mint created slightly different die varieties that year, and through the process of mass production, microscopic imperfections began to appear on some coin dies that accidentally created rare versions during mint strikes. These errors were not intentional, but they are the very thing collectors now obsessively search for, making ordinary change into valuable treasure. Among the most desirable 1978 Lincoln pennies are those with double dies, coins where the die impressed the design twice at a slight angle, leaving behind bold or subtle doubling on key features such as the word Liberty on Lincoln's left, the phrase "In God We Trust" near Lincoln's forehead, the date 1978 itself, or even the tiny designer initials FG on the reverse near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. These doubled letters and numerals look almost like a ghost image or thickened edges under magnification. Another fascinating collectible variety is the 1978 cent struck off center, where the rim of the coin is not symmetrical and part of the design looks slightly cut off. Some coins exhibit die cracks that manifest as hairline fractures stretching across Lincoln's shoulder or along the memorial, or die chips that leave extra blobs of metal pressed into the coin's surface. These varieties are known as retained cut or filled die errors. Individually, each of these unusual traits catches the eyes of hardcore collectors, but when combined with impeccable condition, they can elevate a single penny out of obscurity and into auction fame. Condition is perhaps the most powerful driving force behind a coin's true market value. Most pennies from 1978 have lived hard lives in circulation, accumulating scratches, staining, discoloration, and dulling to a brown or reddish-brown tone. However, a tiny percentage have survived untouched, often stored by accident in bank rolls, forgotten dresser drawers, or hidden coin albums, retaining a shimmering red glow, crisp detail, and no marks of wear even under a microscope. These untouched examples are described by grading agencies like PCGS and NGC as mint state, or MS, and the highest grades of MS 65, MS 66, MS 67 and above are extremely rare for a copper-based penny from the late 70s. Each tiny grade increase on the mint state scale can lead to huge increases in value, especially when paired with a rare die variety. The true stars are those designated as red by grading services, meaning they retain over 95% of their original fiery copper color. To find one like this is every treasure hunter's dream because it proves the coin has remained as vibrant as the day it left the mint presses back in 1978. Imagine stumbling upon a flawless 1978 Lincoln cent with a bright shimmering red surface, struck in Denver perhaps, showing perfect strike and an obvious double die variety across the lettering. The moment it is graded and encapsulated by a reputable service, collectors go wild, bidding fiercely to secure such a rarity. The excitement grows once news spreads that this particular specimen is one of the highest graded examples on record. Anyone who finds such a coin effectively unlocks a time capsule worth far more than anyone around them might suspect. Never overlook the simple pennies lying around your home because history has proved again and again that valuable treasures are often disguised as mundane everyday objects. Grab a magnifying glass, good lighting, and look carefully at each 1978 Lincoln cent, scan the mint mark, check for doubling, inspect the edges, examine color and clarity, because the next coin you review could be the very jackpot you've been dreaming of. Today we're taking a deep dive into a coin that could be quietly sitting in your pocket right now, the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1980. This is the kind of coin millions of people have handled without the slightest idea that a few rare versions are worth serious money today. You might think a penny minted in the 1980s is far too modern to be valuable, but the truth is that some specific mint-marked examples in pristine condition with special era characteristics have become incredibly desirable to collectors and investors. It isn't just the age that determines value, it's about rarity in premium condition, unique minting varieties, and the unmistakable thrill of finding something hidden in plain sight. What may look like a basic copper-colored coin to a casual observer can actually be a golden ticket for someone who knows exactly what to look for. The 1980 Lincoln penny carries the beloved design that Americans have seen for generations, the stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, paired with the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse designed by Frank Gasparo. Yet when you look just beneath the date, you'll find something that can make all the difference: the mint mark. It might be a D standing for Denver, or perhaps an S indicating San Francisco, or no mint mark at all meaning it was struck in Philadelphia. Each mint used its own set of dies, and as those dies aged and were used to strike massive quantities of pennies, imperfections and errors sometimes crept in. These slight minting variations are now some of the hottest finds for collectors, especially when discovered in flawless condition and verified by validation services like PCGS or NGC. One of the most famous varieties among the 1980 Lincoln penny series is the double die, where certain letters or digits appear to be stamped twice due to a misalignment in the die engraving process. If you look at the coin with a magnifier and the word Liberty looks unusually thick or shadowed, the digits in the year 1980 look doubled, or the inscription "In God We Trust" shows separation in the strokes, your heart should definitely start pounding. That could be a signal that you are holding something incredibly rare. Equally captivating are coins struck off-center, where the design is shifted toward one edge and a part of it is missing on the opposite side, creating a crescent of blank planchet. Then there are die cracks that run across Lincoln's shoulder, die chips that leave small blobs near his bow tie or beard, and fill die examples where the mint mark itself appears faint, distorted, or altogether missing. Each of these error types is valued by collectors, but their worth skyrockets when found in brilliant mint condition, still glowing with their original copper red shine. Color and condition play a huge role in determining the true market value of any 1980 Lincoln cent. Copper coins naturally darken over time, turning brown or red-brown. A coin that still blazes with full, red brilliance, meaning it retains most of its original minted color, is especially valuable. Combine that with a high mint state grade like MS-65, MS-66, or higher, then add a dramatic double die or other error variety, and you have what every collector dreams about: a modern penny worth hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. The most valuable examples are often pulled directly from sealed bank rolls, discovered in old collections where coins were never touched, or found stashed away unknowingly by someone who simply forgot they saved their change all those years ago. If you've inherited an old coin jar or come across a hoard of pennies dated 1980, carefully inspect every piece under strong light. Look for crisp details on Lincoln's hair, perfectly struck steps on the Lincoln Memorial, sharp rims, bold lettering, and any sign of doubling, misalignment, or unusual texture. Handle them gently by the edges, and if you believe you found something exceptional, consider sending it off for professional grading. That official certification is often what convinces collectors to pay top dollar when the time comes to sell. Imagine the thrill of searching through a handful of pennies and suddenly spotting one where everything lines up: a strong mint mark, dazzling red original luster, and a telltale doubled inscription glowing back at you. That's the moment every coin hunter dreams of, when a simple coin transforms from pocket change into a headline-grabbing collectible. It goes to show that numismatic treasures don't always glimmer with precious metals like gold or silver. Sometimes, they hide in everyday copper and zinc, far more accessible to the average person but just as capable of delivering incredible profit. That's why the 1980 Lincoln cent has become a favorite hunt among modern collectors, because it proves once again that history and value can lie in the smallest things, waiting to reward the curious and the observant. Now for the stunning and exciting news that keeps collectors searching with unbreakable hope day after day. An immaculate uncirculated 1980 Lincoln penny displaying a standout double die error with breathtaking full red color and certified at one of the highest mint state grades known has shocked auction houses by bringing a sale price of $60,000.